Okay, now this is our fifth video on our chapter number 1, that was Introduction to Data Structure. So now in a lecture number 4 video, we have discussed about a base case, worst case and average case analysis, correct? So now to understand the concept of base case, worst case and average case analysis, we have taken the example of searching, sequential search. It is also known as the word linear search. So now let's see here through one practical example. Like we are having three cases: best case, worst case and average case. So now if we are talking about a best case, so best case means what? In that case the algorithm will take a less amount of time or minimum amount of time. Okay, now in case of worst case, the algorithm will take a maximum amount of time, correct? And in the average case, your running time is always in between of what? Minimum as well as maximum, correct? So now let's take the example over here, same example, linear search or a sequential search. So the required element in the given array can be found at either the first one. If you will see this figure, this is one array that having total 5 elements, correct? Now example, let's say for example 2. So now if you will consider a 2 and if you want to find out the 2, okay, now 2 is already available in our array. So now it is at which position? First position. So this will be considered as a word. If you want to find out a 2, so what will happen? You will make the comparison with the first element, and first element of our array is what? 2. So definitely we'll get our desired element by only one comparison. So that is the example of what? Best case. So if you will see in this figure, if you want to find out a 2, so you will get it at position number 1. So that is the case of what? Best case. So best case. So in case of best case, we'll have a minimum numbers of comparison. So it will take a minimum number of time. Similar way, second example you can see, like let's say for example you want to search a word 3. So obviously first you will compare with what? First one, but first element of our array is what? 2. So definitely it will not match. So again we'll move to the what? Next element. Next element is what? 9. Okay, so definitely no match will be there. Again we'll move to the next element. So that is what? 3. So now if you will see, just after first element, second element is 9, then 3. And then 1, and last element is what? 8. So if you will see 9, 3 and 1, these all are belongs to which case? Average case. Correct? So in case of average case, we'll have an average number of comparison is required. And the last case, third case, so suppose you want to search 8. So obviously in this array, if you will see the 8, so 8 is available at last position. So definitely we'll have to compare all the elements. So now in case of worst case, we'll have a maximum number of comparison. Okay, so you can understand by this figure very easily what exactly the best case, what exactly the average case, and what exactly the worst case. Now here you can see this is the what? Comparison of all these three cases that we have already discussed, correct? Now if you will see it, in case of best case, what happened? So obviously best case, the resource usage is what? Minimum. Like in case of average case, resource usage is what? Average. And in case of worst case, the resource usage is what? Maximum. Why it is maximum? Because in that case, we are having the number of comparisons are more. So definitely we'll have to work lot many times as compared to the what? Best case. Okay. Now in case of best case, the algorithm's behavior under optimal condition. It means what? Optimal means what? Best one. Like if you are talking about the time, so we can consider optimal time. It means what? Minimum time. Correct? And in case of average case, what will happen? The algorithm behaviors under random condition. Because why it is in a random condition? Because we are not aware about the position of element. It can be at any place. Correct? So in that scenario, it will be a random condition. If you are talking about a worst case, so definitely in that particular case, the algorithms behave under the worst condition. Now worst means what? Upper bound. It means what? Maximum amount of time. It means what? It will not take more than this. Base case means what? Minimum amount of time. So minimum amount means what? If you want to do something, so it will take this much amount of time. Okay. So if you want to do something, so it will take some time, minimum time. So your time will be never less than this time. Okay. So base case indicates what? Yeah, up to this time it will take. Now in case of base case, we'll have a minimum number of steps or operations. While in case of average case, the number of steps are average, or number of operation are also what? Average. While in case of worst case, the maximum number of steps will be there or operation. Obviously, your best case indicates what? Lower bound on a running time. Okay, that we have already discussed. Okay, in this particular case, it indicates what? Lower bound. Lower bound means what? Minimum time. While in case of average case, it indicates what? Average bound on a running time. And in case of worst case, it indicates what? Upper bound. Upper bound means what? Worst case. Correct? Now, as we have taken the example of sequential search or linear search, obviously in case of base case, you are getting a time complexity what? 1. In case of average case, what you are getting? N plus 1 by 2. It indicates what? At least you have to scan the half of the element. If you are having n elements, so the equation will be what? N plus 1 by 2. While in case of worst case, what will happen? Obviously, in case of worst case, if suppose you are having n numbers of elements, so definitely it will take a what? N. In that case, your time complexity will be what? N. So n is nothing but it is a what? Number of elements. So now, in a real, generally we are not working with the base case. When we are trying to do the analysis of any algorithm, so generally we are considering the average and worst case performance are the most used in algorithm analysis. So this is actually the comparison of all these three cases. Correct? So now this will be very much useful when you are going to learn the one subject, analysis and design of algorithm, that will come in a semester 5. So this all scenario will be very much helpful at the time of what? ADA subject. Okay, because for ADA subject, your base subject is what? Data structure. Correct? So now this is the comparison of what? Base case, average case and worst case. Correct? Now only one topic is remaining in this chapter, and that is asymptotic notation. Now this is one new term for you people. Up to now, whatever we have discussed. Okay, in that case, we have discussed about what? If you want to do the analysis of a particular algorithm, so definitely we'll have to check the efficiency of that particular algorithm. Now, if you want to check the efficiency of any algorithm, so definitely you need a what? Some parameters. So we have considered two parameters. One is time complexity and another is what? Space complexity. Okay. So now if we are talking about a time complexity, it means what? That how much amount of time the algorithm will take. Okay. So now we have taken lot many examples. Okay. Now to calculate the time, we have already discussed the frequency count concept. Now what exactly happen in case of frequency count? We are trying to calculate the amount of time taken by each statement. That we are trying to calculate that how many times each statement is executing in a algorithm. So we have already discussed about the frequency count by taking a lot many examples. We have taken the example of while loop, single for loop, nested for loop. Okay. So based on that, now the question is what? Then after we have discussed about the base case, worst case and average case. So now definitely when we are trying to calculate a time complexity, so obviously we'll have three categories of time complexity. Base case time complexity, worst case time complexity and average case time complexity. So when you are trying to represent your time complexity, so definitely it belongs to some particular case. Either it can belong to base case, or it can be belong to worst case, or it can be belong to what? Average case. So now when you want to represent a time complexity, so how you will describe it? Every time you will write down like that, okay, these particular time indicates a best case. These particular time indicate worst case, or these particular time indicate a average case. So practically it will become too much complex. Okay. So now we need some kind of mechanism. We need what? Some kind of mechanism through which we can represent that these particular times belongs to this particular case. So how you will describe this? So now to describe this thing, the time complexity, we are having some notation. Notation is nothing but it is one kind of symbol. Correct? So now here in this asymptotic notation, we are going to discuss about the various symbols that we are trying to use to represent a time complexity. Correct? So this asymptotic notation is nothing but it is a one kind of word symbol which represent all these three cases. So now you people are aware about we are having how many numbers of cases? Three cases: base case, worst case and average case. So obviously we'll have a three kind of notation. Now, see here in this PPT, to choose the best algorithm, we need to check the efficiency of each algorithm, correct? And if you want to, the efficiency can be measured by what? Computing the time complexity of each algorithm. Obviously, that way, these all things we have already covered, correct? Now, in case of asymptotic notation is what? That is shortened way to represent the time complexity. As I said that, so this is nothing but ultimately the symbol that we are trying to represent a time complexity, correct? This is nothing but one shortcut way to represent a what? Time complexity in the form of what? Symbolic representation, correct? So now using this, we can perform or we can represent the time complexity in the form of what? Symbol. So why we are using this notation? So obviously, that to characterize the complexity of an algorithm. Like suppose you are trying to make an analysis on some algorithm, and if you have derived the time complexity of that algorithm, so you must have to represent that. Okay, whatever the time complexity that you have derived, either that belongs to best case, either it belongs to worst case, or it belongs to average case. Okay, that is why we require this kind of notation. Obviously, it is also used to compare the performance of two or more algorithms solving the same problem. Definitely. If suppose I am giving you one task and if all 60 students are writing an algorithm, and if I want to compare that which algorithm is best, okay, so some of them are working with the best case, some of them are working with the worst case, or some of them are working with the what? Average case, correct? So to compare the performance of two or more algorithms that are solving the same problem, so we can use the concept of what? Asymptotic notation, correct? So basically we are having three types of notation. Obviously, why it is three? Because we are having the three cases. One is the omega notation, which is known as a BIGO notation. We can also name it like BIGO notation. Another one is omega notation, and the third one is what? Theta notation. Okay, so we are having three symbols. One is BIGO, another is omega, and third one is what? Theta. So we are having total three notation according to the three cases. Okay. Now the first one, that is what? BIGO notation. So as its name implies, the BIGO notation is denoted by what? Capital O. Okay, the BIGO notation is denoted by what? Capital O. Now, it is the method of, see here, it is a method of representing the upper bound of algorithms running time. Now here we are having one important term, that is what? Upper bound. So now you can understand what exactly the meaning of upper bound. So upper bound is nothing but it is the longest or largest amount of time. So if it is representing the upper bound, it means what? This belongs to which case? Now you should be able to understand. Okay, BIGO notation, that belongs to which case? As it indicates the upper bound. Upper bound means what? Maximum limit. Maximum limit means what? That belongs to which case? Worst case. So when we are representing a time complexity in the form of BIGO, it indicates what? It indicates what? This belongs to which case? Worst case. So now here you can see. So using BIGO notation, we can denote a longest amount of time. So that belongs to which case? Worst case taken by the algorithm to complete. Correct? So now using BIGO notation, we can represent the upper bound. Correct? So upper bound is nothing but in this case, it will take a longest amount of time. So when you are trying to represent your time complexity in the form of BIGO, it means by considering a which case? Worst case. So now you can see this example. If suppose I am writing like this BIGO of n, it means what? BIGO of n means what? This belongs to the worst case. So n is what? Number of elements. Similar way, you can represent the time complexity BIGO of n square. Correct? So there are many ways. So now we have taken the example in a frequency count. In one example, we are getting the time complexity BIGO of n. In another, when we have taken the example of nested for loop, in that we are getting the time complexity of what? BIGO of n square. Correct? So that we have already derived, but at that time, but you people were not aware about what exactly this BIGO is. So this BIGO is nothing but it indicates what? the upper bound of algorithm's running time. Correct? So this is your first notation which represents the what? Upper bound. Okay. Now the second one, that is what? Omega notation. Okay. So this is totally opposite to the big O notation. Okay. So the omega notation is denoted by what? The symbol omega. It is a method of representing the lower bound of algorithm's running time. It means what? Here this is totally opposite. In case of big O notation, it represents what? Upper bound. Correct? So now in case of omega notation, it will represent a what? Lower bound. The lower bound means what? It will take a minimum amount of time, or we can say shortest amount of time. So ultimately this is a which case? Best case. So using omega notation, we can denote a shortest amount of time taken by the algorithm to complete. So ultimately this belongs to which case? Now in this case, your algorithm, if you are representing a time in terms of omega, it means what? It represents a time in which case? Best case. Correct? So the omega is mapped to which case? Best case. Big O notation, that is mapped to which case? Big O notation, that is mapped to which case? Worst case. Correct? So obviously we are having total 3 notation. One is big O, another is omega, and our third notation, that is what? Theta notation. Correct? So now in this case, obviously it belongs to which case now? It will be belongs to what? Which case? Now average case. So the theta notation is denoted by a symbol theta. Now using theta notation, we can denote the running time in between upper bound and lower bound. So obviously that belongs to which case? Average case. Correct? So now this is just for your understanding. Okay, now theta belongs to average case, big O belongs to upper bound. It means what? Worst case. And omega, in which it will take a minimum amount of time. So that belongs to which case? Best case. So now in case of theta notation, it will belongs to which case? Average case. So now in this situation, when you are representing a time complexity using theta notation, so that belongs to the average case. Correct? So in that case, it denotes the running time in between of what? Upper bound and lower bound. Correct? So it might be possible you can have this kind of question in an example, explain about asymptotic notation. Okay, this is basic things about a asymptotic notation. Still, it is in too much detail, but in a data structure subject, there is no need to understand it in detail. Okay, but you should know what exactly it is. So this is nothing but a symbolic representation which we are using to represent a what? Time complexity. Correct? So using these 3 notation, we can represent the time complexity. So no need to describe. By using only symbol, we can represent a time. So it will be very much helpful to represent a what? Time complexity. Okay. So this was the last topic of our first chapter, that is introduction to data structure. Okay. So now here in this chapter, we have already discussed all the basic things that are belongs to what? Data structure. Okay. Now, if you will go through one simple revision. Okay, so initially we'll have a discuss about what data management concept, like what exactly the data is, what exactly the information is. Correct? So data is raw material. When you will process it, it will become a what? Information. Correct? Then after we have discussed about what? Data types. Correct? So we'll have a primary data types and derived data types. Primary means what? All the basic data types which are belongs to a particular language, like C. In a C language, we are having integer, float, double, character. These all are the primary. Now using that primary data type, you can make also make a derived data type like array, structure, union, pointers. Then after we have discussed about what exactly the data structure is. So that is nothing but it is specialized format, okay, for organizing and storing the data, and it will be in a particular proper format. Then we are having a classification of data structure like primitive, non-primitive data structure. If you will understand this flow chart, so data structure will bifurcate into 2 categories, primary and primitive and non-primitive. In a primitive, integer, character, float, pointers. In non-primitive, array and list. Array. In list, we are having 2 categories, linear and non-linear. The example of linear data structure are stack, queue, and linked list. Non-linears are tree and graph. Then after we have discussed about all this primitive data structure, non-primitive data structure. Then after linear and non-linear. So you must know the difference between linear and non-linear. Linear means what? Data is going to be arranged in a proper sequence. In case of non-linear, data is going to be arranged in a hierarchical manner. So it will be have a parent-child relationship. So example of linears are stack, queue, and linked list. And example of non-linear are what? Tree and graph. Then after we have discussed about the difference between linear and non-linear data structure. Then after we move to the algorithm. Okay, what exactly the algorithm is, how to make an analysis and measurement of an algorithm. Okay, so we have considered two factors. One is the time and another is what? Space. Okay, so we'll have two terms, time complexity and space complexity. The amount of time taken by algorithm to run is indicate time complexity. The amount of space taken by algorithm, it indicates space complexity. Okay, then after we have we have discussed about the efficiency of algorithm. So by using a frequency count method, we can calculate that how many times each statement is executed. We have discussed lot many examples. This is a nested for loop. This is simple while loop. Okay. Then after we have discussed about average, base, and worst case analysis. All these three methods. Then after we have taken the example of linear search to understand the concept of base case, worst case, and average case. We have compared all these three cases, base case, average case, and worst case. Then after in last we have discussed about the asymptotic notation. This is nothing but a symbolic representation that we are using to represent a what? Time complexity. Okay, we are having three notation, big O, omega, and theta. Big O belongs to a worst case, omega belongs to the base case, and theta belongs to what? Average case. So this is the overview of your first chapter. Okay. Now we'll start with the next chapter in the next video. Okay. So next chapter will be of what? Array.